Hey, this is Dr. Amanda with StraightSmile Solutions, StraightSmileSolutions.com, and today we're going to be talking about power chain, different types of power chain, how you put it on, how you select the right type of power chain. So I really wanted just to go over something that seems to make people kind of confused and go over the different types of power chain to start. Sorry, I haven't even opened this yet. I didn't realize it was going to be so sealed. Okay, hang on. They sealed this so well. Okay, here we go. So I got 3 identical colors of power chain, but they're very different types of power chain today. And remember, whenever you buy power chain, you need to check to make sure your power chain is active. I always do the check test first to make sure it's active. So, I mean, it should be active when you buy it, but you could have bought a really old piece. So I like to go ahead and cut a little piece off on every one that I get and check it. Okay, it'd help if I had a good ligature cutter here. There we go. Okay, so when you test power chain, you should be able to stretch it and it should rebound to exactly the same size it was. If it is stretched out like that, it's no good, okay? Or if it changes kind of color or blanches, it's no good, okay? Throw it away. Power chain should be replaced every year or 2. Throw it all out, get all new ones, okay? Just be it's a consumable. So for that reason, I don't think that you need to have all the different shapes of power chain. I would just have one in each color. So let me show you what I mean by that. So this is long power chain. You can see how there's a little line in between each of the loops. It's like circle line, see that? Long power chain. You don't need this. I just got it for demonstration purposes. No reason for that. This is continuous power chain. And this is short power chain. So it goes long, then it goes short, and then it goes continuous. The only thing I stock is continuous, because to me it makes no sense. So short is like a circle, then a smaller line, then a circle, then a smaller line. So you can see that right there, right? There's no reason for that. Throw that away. Okay, all you need is continuous. Get continuous in the colors you want. They make 50 different colors. Personally, I think that's a little ridiculous. Just get one blue, 1 or 2 shades of blue, 1 green. You don't need 5 shades of green. You can build on it, but it's a consumable. You need to throw it out every year or 2. So it's going to get expensive if you're stocking every single color. But just by eliminating the short and the long, that eliminates 2/3 of your power chain purchase. So you just saved your budget significantly. And if you want to just get continuous in all colors, then that's fine. But then you have to get the single ties to match it, and you need to throw these out eventually, right? So, okay, so let's explain the why behind this. So I just make my continuous work for me. Even if I have big teeth or big spaces, I just leave extra spaces, Like I said, it's going to save you a ton of money if you do this. So we'll show you what we mean by that, okay? So this is night, we do the test, it works good, works well. Okay, so again, if you watch my other videos on power chain, you know that my opinion on power chain is that you shouldn't really be power chaining unless you're on the right kind of wire, okay? So power chain is really, except for in a few limited exceptions, power chain is meant to be used on heavier wire. So I don't even use power chain to close space unless I'm in at least 1725 night tie. I know that might be a little different than some stuff you hear, but all kind of strange things can happen. So it's better just to keep things consistent. So this is a 1725 upper night tie, okay? So let's say, for example, we already leveled, we already aligned, the teeth are straight, as you can see here. Sorry, she broke a bracket here. Let's pretend like it's back on. Let's say we had some spaces here and we were gonna put some power chain in the front, or let's say we were gonna put power chain just to maintain the spaces. So in this case, you're gonna take your wire, you're gonna kind of estimate where it is. You can get those wax marking pencils if you wanna mark it. I wouldn't use a marker because that's gross if it's being reused, but you're estimating about right there, right? Okay. Then you get your, what happened to my distal end cutter? Okay, I had one, it disappeared. Okay. I had one at some point, but we're gonna go ahead and, I've got a terrible lead cutter here. I'm having bad luck with pliers today. I might have to put a pause and go get some more. Okay, I'm gonna do that. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So I got my distal end cutter. Hopefully this one works. We're gonna go ahead. Yay, it's a nice one. Okay, we're gonna estimate. It's always better to overdo it than to underdo it. And then we're gonna use our wine guard plier to put it in the hole. I mean, this is not really in a patient, so this is a little easier, but you're gonna go ahead and put it in the tube. Remember these tubes here, they have 2 holes. This is the auxiliary hole. You're probably not gonna use this. Matter of fact, you may not even have that on your bracket. You put it in the hole that's closest to the tooth. Okay? That's for like extra special stuff. Oopsies. Okay. Okay. So just put it in the hole. And you do not have to bond your 7s or your second molars. I don't normally do that till the end, but this typodont has them bonded. So if you have them bonded, you need to run the wire through it. Did I make this too short? Ugh, I'm gonna be mad if I made it short. Okay. So, okay, we'll just act like we're only going through the 6s, the molars. Okay, remember your lines here, you might have 3 lines, you might have 2 on top, they need to be centered, okay? So see how I'm kind of snaking it around so that my 3 lines are centered, see it? Okay, that's super important or you're gonna get a weird arch shape. All right, put it in there, okay? So it's okay, I can trim my wire a little bit more after I tie it in. Okay, so let's just say we're gonna put chain on the front teeth only, okay? So I always cut a bigger piece of chain than I think I need. I don't count the links because I like to have it to work with. And I do it with my fingers. So remember, if you're not going all the way to the 6s or the molars, you need to just be going mesial to mesial, and you put a single tie on the distal, which I don't have here, but I can get it later. I'm doing this looking through the lens. A little tricky. So I generally do it with my fingers. You can do it with, if you want, with a plier, okay? And then you're gonna go ahead and stretch it. Now, don't go nuts. Like if you have to stretch it this far and this hard the first time, you might break a bracket. So it's okay just to have a little bit of pull. Remember I told you I only use the continuous chain. So I don't anticipate that I'm gonna put 1 link on each tooth if they're big teeth or if they're spaces. I might leave extra links and just do it by feel. So eventually you're gonna be doing this by feel, okay? So I'm doing it right now. Oops, I put it on a little crooked. Make sure you don't twist it when you do this. And by the way, it's significantly easier doing this on a patient. So we can probably put the whole link on here. Let's go ahead. And it's also easier if you have nails. Okay, see? Got the whole thing on there. Mesial, starting on the mesial. Now this one, I think it's gonna be too tight if I try to stretch that all around. So I'm gonna put 2 links on 8 and 9 on each one. Just so there's some pull, but it's not like crazy tight, so I'm gonna break a bracket. Okay, and then I can put another link on here. Yeah, it looks nice too. It's like a nice little pattern. So actually it's okay for me, I could stretch it, but then it's gonna look a little uneven if I do that. So let's just do this, make it look even. So yeah, it looks pretty nice. And then we can probably do 1 link on tooth number 7. And then we'll go to the mesial of tooth number 6. And then we'll stop and put a single tie on the rest of the teeth, including the distal of 6 and 11, our upper 3s. Okay. You can always use this to do it too. Sometimes that makes it easier. But you see how I just stuck with 1 continuous power chain, the continuous, and I didn't have to use worry about short or open or anything like that, or long, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, well, I'll finish that later. But in any case, you can see what I mean, okay? So it looks really nice. We just stuck with 1 brand, just the continuous. I don't use the short or the long, and that's up to you if you want to do it. It's just buying something 3 times, and I personally think there's just no need for it. So anyways, I just wanted to show you what it looks like when you do it. So, you know, actionable tips here. You don't need to buy these. I just bought these for demonstration purposes, short and long, okay? Some people call long open, okay? You don't need these. You can just get this in the colors you want. Remember, throw it away every year or 2. Do the stretch test. If you're not going all the way to the 6s, okay, then you need to just go mesial to mesial and put a single tie on the distal. So if I'm going to finish this up, you get a single tie, get a single tie, get a, this has to go back, single tie, single tie, single tie, single tie, okay? And nice and tight. You're just going to do it by feel. It shouldn't be enough to make the patient cry or where you have to struggle and shake to put it on. Then you're pulling too hard. You're really, really pulling too hard. It's too much force. You're going to change it. It loses its activity after maybe, I don't know, 3 to 6 weeks, 3 to 5 weeks, 3 to 5 weeks. So power chain patients, you might want to see a little more frequently than you would initially with single ties because it's going to lose its activity, you know? And we want to try to keep the force slow and low, continuous. So not like big tides. So that's pretty much it. That's my tips for power chain. All right, thanks so much.